When it comes to some infamous people's names in the loaning business in the US, Scott Tucker is considered to be one of the most successful scammers of all time. Let us get to know more about how Scott Tucker scammed $2 billion from people and used the same money to drive race cars. Scott Tucker began his first consumer loan business in 1997, with the operations being hardly legal. His concept of payday loans ran in conjunction with the attorney Timothy Muir, and when caught scamming almost $2 billion from the desperate American public for more than 15 years, he claimed as seeing himself as an entrepreneur, job provider, and a contributor to the American economy. Scott Tucker took advantage of the citation of the Native Americans and used his sovereignty to shield his own business from the eye of the law. He reached out to several tribes and then offered them a percentage of his profits to whoever allowed him to create the company on their land. Tucker didn't shy away from using every means, be it fair or unfair, to get where he wanted to be. An example of this is Tucker signing false names on the documents to make it seem like certain people of the Native American tribe were in charge. This was highly unfair, as he only provided them with a single % of the overall profits. Tucker took advantage of the general public as well, especially those he knew were going to read the fine print. For example, if someone took out a $300 payday loan, Tucker's company charged a $90 service fee. It didn't stop there. Every 2 weeks after taking the loan, the bank would take another $90 from the customer's bank account. Conclusively, this would mean that a person would borrow $300, could easily end up spending $1,000 instead. This couldn't be solved by state laws, as the interest rates could very easily skyrocket to 700%. Payday loans are short-term, small-amount loans which are closely regulated because they can become predatory, harming desperate people who have very few other options. Because of that, such loans are monitored closely in 18 states. Tucker avoided the law by offering payday loans on the internet, which could easily become accessed by people in restrictive states according to their will. Scott Tucker, race car driver. Tucker did not set off his racing career until he made millions from his payday loan scheme. He used the money he scammed to hire a coach and buy a $300,000 competition car. Tucker made his way to fame and became well known for endurance racing. He even hired a reporter to follow him around for interviews he posted on YouTube, and he also commissioned a documentary about his driving career. It did not stop there. Wall Street Journal published a glowing profile of him, referring to him as a wealthy private investor. Tucker's brother, Blaine Tucker, was a part of the central business, and he illegally signed checks from a tribal bank account, so he and the team could live off payday loan profits. This was caught by the Federal Trade Commission and then sued the company back in 2012, where Blaine was a defendant in the case. Later in 2014, Blaine took his own life. One of Scott's friends, racing coach Ed Zabinski, blamed the government for Blaine's death. Scott Tucker's payday loan center employees were instructed to lie to the interested callers. When asked, the workers told customers the office was located in Oklahoma, although it wasn't. Employees couldn't use cellular devices in the building because the phone signals might prove the office was located in Kansas. Tucker had a criminal record before even starting the payday loan scheme, as he received his first criminal charge in 1988, wherein he lied on an application for a loan from the American Bank of Kansas City and then proceeded to create a bogus company. When he was caught, he pleaded guilty to 2 felony charges. 5 years later, after being released from jail for this offense, he started his first payday loan company. Scott Tucker earned nearly $400 from his illegal payday lending operation. He used that money to fund his lavish lifestyle along with his race car company. All of this went downhill, with due credit to Carolyn Williams, who worked for Don Brady, who was the CEO of Tucker's payday loan company. Williams had realized that the company was using Native Americans to evade the law, which made her further realize that this scheme was illegal and deeply unethical, so she recorded evidence that implicated her boss in fraud, thus ending the joyride of Scott Tucker.